madcaps out there. It's the Mad Chatter, right on K here. That's right, with the debut episode of Mad Cooking with the Chatter. We're gonna have some fun, yeah. Mainly here to show off some simple recipes, right? Mainly for my 21-year-old son who needs some cooking advice, and I'm passing it along to all of you wonderful people as well, in case it's needed. So, debut episode, debut meal. We've got your good old-fashioned roasted potatoes. Now, it's going to take some time. Depending on the roast you get, 4 to 6 hours, so make sure you start it early if you want it for dinner time, okay? So, have some fun. Like I said, let's get into it. We'll begin with ingredients and utensils. Okay, so we begin with our ingredients. Yes. So, first off, the most important thing of the dish, you need your roast. Now, you can get a nice chuck roast. There's a couple different roasts you can get. You may want to look them up. Depending on what kind of roast it is will depend on how long you want to cook it. Okay? Between 4 and 6 hours again. So, start this shit around noon if you want to have it done for dinner time. Okay. So we got the roast. That's what you want to get. You can get it at your grocery store. You're also going to want your potatoes. Bam. It really doesn't matter what kinds you get. Your Idahos, they're nice russets, things like that. And then you also want to make sure you have some flour. Gotta have the flour, okay? And you want some salt. Now you could also add in some seasoning. I like this Greek seasoning. It's good stuff. And we'll get to that. And you could also add in some veggies, some green beans, corn, what have you. And of course, some sweet Hawaiian rolls. I love these fucking things. So, that's what you need for ingredients. Let's check out the utensils. Okay, now for utensils, main thing you're going to want is about a 5-quart pot, at least a 5-quart pot, bigger if you'd like. With a lid, you're going to need the lid, and then you're going to want a good old cutting board, right, for cutting those potatoes up. You're also going to need for those potatoes a potato peeler, so make sure you get that. And then, of course, tongs, meat fork. These would be good to have. You don't exactly have to have these, but something you're going to want to turn the roast, so you're going to need something like this. Then, for the gravy, a ladle. Yeah, a ladle. It's a fun word. A ladle. Anyway, so we continue on. Oh, don't forget the knife. You will need a knife. A good knife to cut those potatoes. So, that's what we got for utensils. Let's get going on some cooking, shall we? So now, the first step you want to get your pot on the stove. Put a tiny bit of water in there, just a tiny bit, to help it from burning at first. Then we're going to get our roast. We're going to open it up. I've got a plate with some flour on it. Mix in their seasonings there if that's what you want to do, okay? And then take out your roast, and then we're just going to coat it in flour. Yeah, we're just going to coat it in flour. It's going to get a little messy. Flour and a little bit of seasoning, and yes, we get this right, and then it goes in the pan. Okay, so now, roast, nice and floured, and then we're just going to cook it in there, and then we're just going to brown that meat. Yeah. Okay, so once you've got it browned, both sides, and you just want to make sure once you get it in there with the flour that you just turn it every once in a while. Use your tongs, right, and your meat fork. That's right, meat fork, the big old fork. And then you get it to a point to where it's nice and brown, see? You get it nice and brown, and then we're just going to add the water. That's right. Now we add water until it covers the meat, okay? And then you're going to bring it down the heat, because you want to brown the meat medium high, okay? Should have mentioned that before. Medium high, brown the meat. And then you want to go ahead and turn it down. Turn it down. Low, medium, low. Fill it up with water. Water until the meat is covered. Still going. 1 second. Almost there. Almost covered the meat. Really close now. It's coming along. Okay. And that's what we do. Like I said, water till the meat's covered. Then, get your lid. And now we wait. As we're waiting, this is gonna, like I said, medium-low heat. We're gonna let this simmer. You can turn it down to low if you need to, but you just want it to simmer over several hours. But once every hour or so, come check it out. And you're just gonna come check it out, and then what you want to do is just turn the meat over. Turn the meat over. I should use the damn tongs too. Turn that meat over, baby, and you just flip it over. Just do that like once every hour. Now, when you hit the halfway point, okay, 2.5 hour point or so, depending on your roast. Again, this is a chuck roast, 4 or 5 hours, so about 2.5 hour mark. I'm gonna come and check the water level because we might need to add a little bit of water, okay? Because you don't want it to get too dry. Have it to get too dry. So you might need to add a little bit of water halfway through, 2/3 of the way through. So just keep an eye on it as you check on it every hour, the water level that is, and continue the waiting. Okay, now, with about an hour left, here's what I want you to do. I want you to grab some potatoes. However many you like. I like a bunch. But grab yourself some potatoes, 5 to 10, whatever. And really, fill up that fucking pot with potatoes if you want. But you just got to make sure they're all submerged with the roast, okay? But you don't want too much water in there towards the end. You want just enough for the gravy. For the gravy, that's right. So you go ahead, peel your potato. I'm sure you know how to do that. It's not too hard. If you don't have yourself a potato peeler, you should have got one when you saw the utensils list. You know what I'm saying? So then what you want to do, when they're peeled, rinse it off a little bit, and then you're going to cut them up. Now, I like to cut them in half. Sometimes I quarter them. Depends on the size of the potato. Bigger the potato, the more slices you're going to want. You don't want them too big. You want them to cook real nice with the roast. Bigger the pieces, the longer it's going to take. So cut them up a little bit, okay? Cut them up maybe this size. If you want, dial them down a little bit. Cut them in half again. There you go. Bam. But you get you some nice little size taters. And we're going to hold on to those for just a second. And then, once you get them all ready, we toss them in the pot with the roast. Like I said, make sure they're submerged, so they can cook, okay. And this is about what you want it to look like. Yes, beef, taters submerged, cooking it up. Hour left till munchy time. Woo! Okay, so we're back and we're done, and it's done. We're so close. So here's what you're gonna do. Turn this bad boy off. You can see, ooh, nice and yummy. And we're gonna just pull this roast right on out on a plate. You're gonna wanna, ooh, I can already tell it's just gonna fall apart so easily. You're gonna be able to just pull that meat apart just so easily, just into strips is what you're gonna do. But let that bad boy cool down first. Yeah. While it's cooling. Now, while that's cooling, you're going to heat up these rolls if you got some of those. If you got some veggies, some corn, some green beans, you're going to want to get any of that heated up while you let the roast cool. You're also going to want to head over and you're going to want to take out your potatoes. That's right. And then you're going to let the rest of that liquid just kind of simmer there, and it's going to be good for gravy. If it's too thin, best thing you can do, a little flour and milk, mix it together. You can even take a little grease out of what's in there. It's a little more complicated than we get. Just hopefully it's thick enough. But if anything, A little flour should help to thicken it up. Now, you should be good though. So what we're gonna do, get those potatoes out, get other stuff heated up, and get ready to pull apart that meat. And then it's a bon appetit.